Hi Flosstube, I'm Rachel, Stitchy Rach, here on Flosstube and on Instagram. It is Thursday, the 5th of August, and this is a YouTube channel about cross stitch. Welcome everyone, welcome if it's your first time here, and welcome back if you've been here before. If it is your first time here, I hope you will hang around and see if you like what I have to show. This is my YouTube channel where I show you what I've been cross stitching over the last week. I hope everyone's having a good week. It's been a really high and low week here. Some real highs and, let me grab my cup of tea, and some lows. Not necessarily personal lows, but I'll tell you in a minute, just a bit of a tricky situation. So the highs, let's start on the good point. It's been really interesting, not interesting, just a lovely week. So on Saturday, we went and visited some friends that we haven't seen for about 2 years, and their children, who are the same age as our children, and everyone got to play together and chat and drink. Well, I drank gin, my husband was driving. I drank gin, and it was just awesome. So that was highlight number one. And then on Monday, my cousin came with her 2 children, and again, I haven't seen her for 2 years. We're really close. She was one of my bridesmaids, but she lives in Dubai now, and so I hadn't seen her for a long time. So again, she came with her children, the kids got to play, she stayed for 2 nights. That was awesome. So great to catch up and drink wine and just hang out and just be together. So that was highlight number 2. And then highlight number 3 was on Tuesday, so my cousin was still here, but another one of my friends came, one of my university friends who I haven't seen, I think we decided it was for 5 years. She'd never met one of my children, and all the kids just played together in the garden. Oh, it was so nice. It was so lovely to see them all. So it's just really uplifting to see so many people I love after the last year, and for my children to kind of make new friends, because whilst they had met most of these children before, it's been such a long time, they just kind of don't remember each other. So really, really, really lovely. So that was the highs, which are pretty amazing. And one of the things I love since I started making Flosstube is that you realise how much happens in a week if you make them every week, and you think back on your last week and you think, gosh, how has that only been a week? How has it only been a week? But it has. So on to the lows. So on Sunday, last week, where we live in Kent, it just poured with rain. I mean, poured and poured and poured. It was biblical. I have never seen anything like it, and I'm a northerner, but honestly, it just kept coming, kept coming, kept coming. We had an empty wheelbarrow outside the back of the house, and there must have been 6 inches in it on Monday morning. And it's raining here again now. It's not like August. In fact, it puts me in mind of my parents had lots of CDs when I was growing up of kind of a comedy musical duo, a British duo called Flanders and Swan. I don't know if anyone else has heard of them. And they're around in the 50s and 60s. And some of their things now are quite dated. They wouldn't pass the modern... You wouldn't probably go with it now. But one of the songs they had was the weather song. And go and look up the lyrics, because it is hilarious. It is about the weather in the UK. They'd have probably said England, but I would say Britain or the UK. And it is about the weather in this country. And they give a little overview of each month. And their summary of August is: August, cold and dank and wet, brings more rain than any yet. And I think, given we're 5 days in, that is about the summary. it is later than I usually film, but it's not late. It shouldn't be dark, but I've had to put the big light on in here, which for any of you who are not Northern or British, the big light's just the main ceiling light in a room. We just call it big light from where I'm from. And there's also a lamp behind me because it was so dark in here. I needed extra lighting. So I hope it won't throw my colours off too much, although I don't think there's any colours that are going to be very sensitive to it this week, so we'll see. But anyway, I digress. So the reason of the low wasn't just that the rain poured down. The village I live in, we live slightly outside the village, but the main part of the village flooded on Sunday night. It had flash flooding. And about 20 homes had water in their house, which is just awful. So it's really really awful for those people. And I couldn't offer much practical assistance tidying up on Monday because obviously with 3 children, I didn't think anyone was particularly going to thank me for dragging 3 children around to their flooded property. But I am, for my sins, a member of our parish council, so we've been busy trying to work out what assistance the parish council can give, and try and sort out things like sandbags from the council and street sweeping, and there was a meeting on Tuesday night. So it's been quite a busy week in that sense. And with the summer holidays, there hasn't been a lot of stitching. So I do have some things to show you, but again, it has been quiet on the stitching front. And to all you parents who are in the middle of your long summer holidays, I hope you're getting on well. I'm on week 4, and we're doing all right, actually. In general, we're having lots of fun. Today, even it's raining again, people just want to get outside a bit, not in the rain. And so I think some of my kids' tempers are starting to fray with each other, but hopefully it'll all calm down when we can get out. So hope I'm not too gloomy. As I say, not a lot of stitching because what with all the people I've seen and the unfortunate case of the flooding. Oh, I have to say, we were not impacted with the flooding. I didn't think to say that. Please don't worry. As I say, our house is slightly outside the village, and is a little bit on slightly higher ground. So I think it would be very unfortunate if we were to flood, but we didn't. We're absolutely fine. We're completely dry. So just more worried about other people in my community, really. Right, I will have a sip of tea and then we will crack on, and I'll show you the stitching I have done this week. I should also say, because it's later than I usually film, I'm going to try and get through this all in one go, but I am starting to run into dinner time, so at some point I'm going to have to go and feed my children. So we'll see if I can get through all this in one go. I might have to do 2 sittings. We'll see. Righty-ho. So, unsurprisingly, I have no FFOs and no finishes, but I do have 4 whips, so I will crack on. So, last week when I saw you, I was stitching on my Peanuts Afghan, and I was stitching on the Joe Cool block. So, let me find where it's. This is a beast to wrestle. Honestly, it's massive. So here it is. Here is Joe Cool, and he's finished. So there is Joe Cool with Woodstock. I love Joe Cool. He is my favourite. So I don't think I said this week that most of the blocks on this Afghan are stitched from out of print vintage leisure arts books or pamphlets. Did I bring them up? Yeah, they're down there. Let me grab one and I will show you. Oh, sorry, loads of grunting as I lean over the arm of the chair. So, lots of books like this. My phone's pinging now, can you hear that? I bought these from eBay. They do come up, so if you are interested in them, the best place I can suggest is eBay. The other place I've been getting some patterns from is this book, Peanuts Cross Stitch, which I'm pretty sure is still widely available. I got mine on Amazon a few years ago, and that has lots of designs in as well if you don't want to faff around trying to find secondhand charts on eBay. But that's where I've been getting these from. I am mainly doing them just in the called for DMC, and this is a piece of an Afghan cloth from, oh, that's the wrong one, that's an old one, from Zweigart. I have, because it's on Afghan, I have cropped some of the designs to fit in an Afghan square. So an Afghan square is 90 by 90 stitches if stitched over one, or 45 by 45 if stitched over two. Most of these are stitched over two, and personally for me, when I'm stitching over two on Afghan fabric, I use 4 strands of floss, so they do take a lot of floss, and then I back stitch in 2 strands of floss. So these do, if I move it closer, if you can see, they do take a lot of floss, and they are big crosses. And then this one is an over 1 square, which I do in 2 strands, more traditionally in 2 strands of floss with 1 for back stitch. So that's where I am on that. So next time I pick this up, I'll be moving out a layer, and this will be the final layer all the way around. So I'll be doing one here, one here. So obviously it will be the biggest layer as well, because it has to go all the way around. So excited for picking that up again. Maybe later this month. I haven't really decided, but when I do, let me dig around in Shush Phone. Let me put it on silent because that's going to bug me. When I do, I'm going to be stitching these 4 dudes in the corners of the next square around the Afghan. So that's the plan next for that when it comes out again, probably later this month. So that was the first thing I worked on. I got that mini finished, that was good. The second thing I worked on was my Spooky Halloween. Now this has not had a lot of love since I last saw you, but I did take it on our car journey to go and see our friends, which ended up being, on the way there, not a great car journey. It's not their fault, just I think, you know, in the UK starting to open up and the summer holidays, everyone seemed to be on the move, and it was just traffic jam, roadworks, traffic jam, roadworks. Just, it took a lot longer than it should have, or we anticipated. So yeah, that was good. And obviously 3 children in a car and taking longer than you anticipated, what could possibly go wrong? But anyway, I'm getting distracted. So here it is. Here is Spooky Halloween. So what have I achieved since I last saw you? Not a huge amount. And because it was in the car, I was talking to the kids, getting distracted. It wasn't solid stitching, talking to my husband, yada yada. So since I last saw you, I think all I've done is finished. I think I've come down and done this little curl here. I've finished this big thick curl here and finished just this last bit of ground under the zombie, which you probably can't tell the difference. And I've started this tree trunk. So not huge amounts, but a reasonable amount for, you know, a car journey stitching. So that's where that is. Sorry, that thread's now in an awkward place. This is on 32 Count Belfast in Ember by Crafty Kitten Fabric. I know that she is actually taking a break at the moment. She had a bit of a backlog of orders, so I know she isn't taking new orders, but I will still link her shop below and you can go and have a look at her beautiful fabric. I think she's planning to reopen her shop in September, but don't hold me to that. I have no inside knowledge, just what's posted on her website. This design was originally a sow, by Lakeside Needlecraft. It's designed by Doreen Jones. the only place you can get it is Lakeside Needlecraft, but you can still get it either just the chart or as a kit. And I will link them below as well. And I'm stitching it just in the called for DMC. I would like to get this finished before Halloween. So again, this might come back out later this month. We'll see. We'll see. So yeah, that's where I got on that one. Spooky Halloween. And then when I saw you last week, I said once I had finished that block on my Peanuts, my Snoopy blanket, I was going to go back to my alphabet sampler, and I just wasn't feeling it. And sometimes just not feeling it is fine, and you just want to do something else. So I did, and I pulled out, I think it's because I'd shown you this amazing project bag from the lovely Sarah at Penelope's Pocket last week, and I will link her website below. I think she's sold out of this type, but I did see on her Instagram, I think it was today, that she's just posted some new ones which look really beautiful. So go over and have a look at her website. But this is, I'm keeping in here, is Snort Stack by Plum Street Samplers. I think because I'd shown the bag last week and I'd said this was what I was keeping in here, I just really fancied putting some stitches in on here. So I only got this out for 2 nights. And again, it wasn't huge amounts of progress. This was one of my Stitch Mania starts this year. So I will show you where I got to. This is a rather large piece of fabric, but I'm probably going to do all my animal stacks on here, or most of them anyway. So, and this is where I am. So as you can see, not huge amounts of progress. I think I'd got that black border done before I started, and I think I'd done a bit of the flower on the left or a bit of the flower on the right. A bit of one of those flowers. Anyway, I've basically finished both those flowers. My light is it blowing it out? No, it's probably showing pretty true actually. This is a piece of 40 count linen that I tea coffee dyed myself. I wanted it to be quite dark and quite mottled for these stacks. I thought it would suit them, and I am using all the called for threads, which are a combination of Classic Colourworks and Weeks Dye Works. And that little needle minder there is from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. I think you can still get them. I know she originally launched them in aid of the Australian bushfires at the beginning of 2020. I think they're still available on her website, and I'll link their website as well. They do, Caterpillar Cross Stitch do super duper needle minders. So that's where I got to with that one. I'd say just not huge amounts of progress on anything this week, just kind of fiffed and faffed around with the stitching. And 2 days I didn't stitch at all, which is very, very unusual for me. I know I said that last week, but that was holiday. But to be at home and not to stitch at all is very unusual. So that was that one. And then, oh, my last, no, I don't need that bag. So I didn't need to make that noise as I leant over. My last one was my alphabet sampler. I did go back to this, which has had 2 nights stitching as well. So I'm nearly done. Nearly now done with S's for shoes. I've just got this little bit of infill on the shoe here, and then I have to do the is for shoes. So I may be able to get that done tonight. Depends how the stitching evening goes. If not tonight, then tomorrow. This is Bouncing Babies ABC by Lucy Heaton, and is available as a PDF download on her website. I'm stitching this on 36 count white Zweigart with all the called for DMC. I'm enjoying kind of getting the blocks done. This is on my WIPGO for this month, not the S block. I will be ahead on the S block, although I'm behind on the F block, so it kind of cancels each other out. The R block is on my WIPGO this month, and I'd like to get that done. So when I finish this S block, I'm going to move over to the R is for rabbit block. I haven't stitched this in consecutive order, obviously, so yeah, just because I'm stitching S doesn't mean that's actually where I'm up to in the alphabet. If you'd like to know more about WIPGO, that is a stitching challenge, which is the brainchild of Jessie Marie Does Stuff. I will link her Flosstube and her Instagram below where she explains it. And if you go, I think, back to my 1st of July video, I give you a bit of an overview about my personal WIPGO. But it's basically a cross stitch challenge like bingo, and you reach your own goals to cross off your boxes. But that's where I am, and hopefully by the time I film next week there'll be a bit more progress on that. Right, starting to rush up against dinner time. I actually made notes this week because there's so many things that I didn't want to forget at all. So they're all my WIPs this week. I say all really bitty. Don't feel huge amounts of progress has been made anywhere, although obviously lovely to get a mini finish. Right. I'm going to move on to haul. I left myself in control of a laptop after a glass of wine on Friday evening last week. So there's a little bit of haul. It's not too bad. There's a bit. If you're not keen on haul, maybe fast forward 10 minutes. Okay, haul. What have I got? What have I got? I'm going to bring it all onto my knee. So, the first thing is something I should have actually shown last week, but I didn't actually find it till this week. It was hidden in a pile of what I thought was junk mail holiday post, and this had got tucked inside something else, so thank the Lord it didn't go in the bin. This is Cottage Garden Samplings Halloween Sampler. I'm sure you've all seen that before. I bought that off a Facebook stash unload group. Really like that one. I think I've got some linen that'll look nice on as well. So yeah, love that. Oh, sorry, loads of glare. There you go. And then some more charts that again were from some stash unload groups this week. So the first one is Rose Cottage Sampler Pin Keep. So I'm going to finish with that. So Stacey Nash Primitives, and it came out at Needlework Expo in March this year. And I nearly bought it then, but I'd already put in my order with Sue at Peakside, and I was like, I can't go and add more to it. I thought I'll buy it later. Anyway, so I got it off a selling group, so that was great. I'm looking forward to stitching that one. It is so pretty. Really pretty, isn't it? And I did get the Be Kind sampler by Stacey Nash Primitives from Needlework Expo earlier in the year. And then these other three also came from a Facebook selling group, but from the lovely Jenny, who I chat to on Instagram, and I'm pretty sure watches me on here. And this was hilarious because I said, could I have them on Friday night? And then ended up paying for them on Saturday morning on PayPal. And she messaged me while I was in the car on that horrendous car journey I was telling you about, and said, oh, can I have your address? Because it didn't come through on eBay. And one of my children just said, oh, I need a wee. And we're on the motorway and there was nowhere we could stop. So we're trying to get off at a junction. And I completely misread it. And I thought she was saying that the money hadn't come through on eBay. And I was like, oh, on PayPal. So I was like, oh gosh, I'm really sorry. And I went and screenshotted like it showing it had gone out of my PayPal. And then she was like, no, your postal address. She said it much nicer than that. She was like, oh no, I meant your postal address. And I'm like, I'm such an idiot. So I'm so sorry. I am a complete ditz. and I should read messages more carefully. Anyway, but from Jenny, I got the Boo Chalkful, the hands-on design with Priscilla Blaine's artwork. So I got that one. And then I got two with Thy Needle and Threads. I got Best Time of the Year. It's great, isn't it? Look at that one. Trying to not get glare. There you go. And this one, which is called Merry Noel, both by With Thy Needle and Thread. So thank you, Jenny. They came through. That was very exciting. So they were my eBay purchases. And then I went on to Peakside Needleworks, because what do you do? The first thing that actually came in the package from Peakside, because Sue is brilliant, and without me even asking, put all these things in one parcel and saved me some postage. But the first thing to show is the September sampler of the month from the Country Cottage Needleworks series with its piece of fabric. I am on the auto ship for that through Peakside Needleworks. So that's the September one. So that is not what I bought on Friday night, because it's on auto ship. What I did buy on Friday night was Sisters by Blackbird Designs. There are some amazing charts in here. Which ones do I? I'll just give you a quick. I do love this one. Oh, is it that one? Hold on. Now I'm confusing myself. I am confusing myself. Bear with me. Yeah, it's A Shields. I love that one. I don't know if you can see it, because I'm getting a lot of glare. But it's quite dark, but it is really, really beautiful. It's a stunning book. Thoroughly recommend. So that couldn't come on its own. And when I bought it, I didn't know that Sue was going to include my auto ship in that. So I also got Winds of Autumn. Now, I know this book, a lot of the charts have been released separately, but I actually don't own any of the charts that are included in this book. But a lot of the charts that are included in this book are things that I have thought of buying, like Spell of the Moon. That has nearly ended up in my possession several times. Love that one. I also, what else did I like in here? Lots of things, obviously, because it's a Blackbird. So you've got to stitch everything right. Which one did I like? Oh, I like that one. I don't think this one is, but I could be completely wrong. I don't think this one is independently available. Mighty Acorn. I love that. I love that oak tree. We have a big oak tree in our garden. Love that. So, got two Blackbird books. And then, if that was not enough, I decided to get The Never-Ending Cycle from Hands On Design. You may remember that last week I was sat in a laundry room, which is marginally better this week, mainly because I cleared out the spare room so my cousin didn't have to stay in a laundry room. But the laundry's still out of control, because laundry's always out of control. In fact, there's some on my washing line getting wet in the rain right now. But what can you do? It was already wet by the time I got home, so I wasn't going to bust a gut to try and go and get it. I'll go and get it later. But this one says Laundry, the Never-Ending Cycle. And trust me, when you have 3 kids, it's a never-ending cycle. And so this one just speaks to me on a very, very deep level. So that was all my Peakside haul. And so I should be done right now, shouldn't I? But then one more thing. So I went and I bought some Needlepoint Silks. Now, MPIs are quite hard to come by in the UK. But Sarah, who makes the lovely Penelope's Pocket project bags, posted something, I think at the beginning of the year, and she had an MPI. And I was like, where where did you find that? And so she pointed me in the direction of a company called West End Embroidery online, and they do loads of different threads, and some that are quite hard to find and not massively stocked anywhere else, and MPIs are one of them. The website is a little old-fashioned, but the service was incredible. So I actually got a phone call from, I think her name was Yvonne, who runs West End Embroidery. I will link them below. The morning I made the order, and she said, I'm really sorry. So one of these colours I ordered 2 skeins of. She said, I'm really sorry, I only have 1 skein of that. She said, what would you like me to do? She said, I can just post you 1 skein and refund you for the other one. She said, or I can find the nearest match to it and send you 2 skeins of the nearest match I can find. I think that is amazing service, because she could have just sent me 1 and refunded it, but to bother to ring and then to take the time to pick through her MPIs and find a good match. So couldn't recommend the service enough. And I bought the MPIs and this is something I already had in my stash, something I've had in my stash for quite a long time actually, and wanted to start for quite a long time, for Garden Vegetables by Kathy Barrick. And interestingly, the MPI she didn't have in stock was the one that is only used to stitch this table. So it doesn't matter that it's not exactly the called for, because it's all on its own and that's the only thing it does. So as long as you can see it on the fabric, it kind of doesn't matter. This is going to be my birthday start. My birthday is at the beginning of September. So if you would like to join in with me and you have this in your stash, please feel free to do so. I will come up with some kind of inventive hashtag if people would like me to, or if you have one to suggest, please suggest it. But also if you just want to join in with me for my birthday, anything to do with gardens, anything to do with Kathy Barrick, anything to do with anything really, just join in. But this is what I'm gonna start as my birthday new start. So I've only been doing birthday new starts for 3 years, and I can safely say that none of them are finished. 2 years ago, 2019, I started Village of Hawthorne Hollow, and I've done 1 block on it. And then last year I started Strawberry Sampler by From the Heart Needle Art by Wendy, and I think I've done 2 rows on that. So birthday starts are long-term projects, but I love this, and this was nearly my birthday new start the year I started Village at Hawthorne Hollow. So I've splashed out for the silks. I think I've got some fabric in my stash, but I haven't picked out that yet, so maybe I'll try and pick that out for next week, or maybe I'll do a floss toss for Instagram, something like that, we'll see. So that's the plan there. Gosh, really running up against dinner time now. Right, Rachel, hurry up. I think I'm nearly there now. I'll quickly, as I've just talked to you about plans for my birthday in September and missed out basically the whole August, I'll talk to you about my plans for August, which are very, very nebulous actually. I want to do that R is for Rabbit block on my alphabet sampler, but after that I'm really going to see how the mood takes me, because I'm not feeling settled to things, and I don't want things to feel a chore. So my plans are, after that alphabet sampler block, I have no plans, which are sometimes the best plans. I think I will take part in Blackbird weekend this weekend. So that is Blackbird Weekend Sal, hosted by Brenda and Laura, who I'm sure you all know, from Brenda and the Serial Starter here on YouTube. So I'll probably do that this weekend, finish that block, and then it might be Snoopy, it might be Spooky Halloween, it might be something completely different. I am not going to try and hold myself to things for August, because, you know, we have life plans, not life plans in like, you know, life events, just, you know, plans that aren't to do with cross stitch, because weirdly not everyone in my family wants their entire life to revolve around the cross stitch. I think they're missing out, but yeah, apparently it's not for everyone. Weird. Yeah, so we have plans and kids on holiday, and yeah, just August is a life month. And I tried arbitrary August last year and really didn't enjoy it. No, that is casting no aspersions on arbitrary August, but spinning a wheel and stitching on something different every day, just not for me, as my eldest daughter says when she doesn't like something on her dinner plate. Just not for me. Not for me. Okay, so that's brief babbly plans. And then 2 things I wanted to talk about that are really cool. So kind of things that are happening in the cross stitch community, neither of which I can take any credit for whatsoever. But the first thing I'm participating in is on Instagram, and it's Common Threaded Stitcher. So I'm sure everyone watching this has heard of Common Threaded Stitcher, because it's not like I am at the vanguard of knowing where it's at in the cross stitch world. But Common Threaded Stitcher was, as I understand it, the brainchild of Kia B Quilting. And every day through August, there's an Instagram prompt where you can tell the community a little bit about yourself using the Common Threaded Stitcher hashtag, which is just hashtag Common Threaded Stitcher all together. I'm sure you all know how to do hashtags. And it's a really great way of connecting with other stitchers and finding out a little bit more about other stitchers and things like that. So we're on day 5. I already fell off the wagon. I did day 1 on time, and then day 2 and day 3 I posted on day 4 along with day 4, and I haven't done day 5 yet, but I will do it before I go to bed tonight. And there's also a team of great Flosstubers behind that who kind of coordinate it and lead prompts, and you can tag them in your prompt. So it's Pam and Steph from Just Keep Stitching, Jen Lee and Brandon from Quirks and Stitches, Kia and Nathan from Kia B Quilting. Sorry, I've got them all written down, otherwise I was scared I was going to forget. Yamia from Almond M&M's, Becca from Sandbury Stitches, Liz from Hello from Liz Matthews, and Debbie and Kefren from Snug Harbour Crafts. I'm sure you're all much more familiar with them than you are with me. None of them need my publicity, trust me. And then the other thing I am super excited about is the great floss drop trade. So this is the brainchild of Michelle, Mama Loves You GB, here on Flosstube and Instagram. And if you go back to her last video, she has this super idea of using business cards as floss drops, and she shows hers. She got them from Vistaprint. And then not only has she got this great idea, she then had the even more awesome idea of, if other people make them, then we can trade them. And what you do is you go and order yours. I've ordered mine, and you post a picture of them on Instagram with the hashtag #TheGreatFlossDropTrade, and you can trade them with other people, which is awesome. And then we'll all have each other's floss cards. So I'm super excited to show you the design I've chosen, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. I want you to see it. And I got my dispatch notice from Vistaprint today, so they very much should be here for next week, and I am super excited about that. And if Michelle suggesting you do something wasn't reason enough to go do it, Brenda and Laura also think you should do it. So, you know, if Michelle and Brenda and Laura are telling you to do it, you just got to do it, haven't you? Just got to do it. So super excited about hashtag #TheGreatFlossDropTrade, and I will link both those hashtags below, but go and check out Mama Loves You GB's latest video, which I'm sure everybody has, because Michelle's amazing and does not need my publicity or shout outs, because she's awesome. So there we go. I think that's everything. I am now super late for cooking my children's dinner. They're quite happy because they're screen timing. But, you know, sometimes for their sanity and one's own sanity as a parent, screens are a necessary thing to be in one's life. Anyway, so thank you for coming and spending time with me. I hope you enjoyed my rather scattered stitching this week, and I hope you enjoyed the haul. Don't touch the laptop this week after the wine. Top tip. And I will see you all next week. Yeah, that's it. That's all I've got. So thank you for joining me. I did reply to all the comments last week. Yay! But please leave comments, please like, please subscribe. I love reading all your comments, and I am waffling. So have a good week, Stitchers. Bye.